Welcome everyone to my 700 subscribers special. Lately I was watching a lot of YouTube videos from sound designers and other influencers on the platform, and there was a video where one of them was talking about a rare plugin, and that's why in the comment section I also got into a discussion where we were talking about rare plugins that you normally just don't see. And a lot of them have very special functions that you wouldn't expect, and for that reason they are not popping up in more popular plugins, but they are still very useful. So if you are like one of these producers who think I only need the most professional sounds to be a professional, then you should probably not watch this video because this is going to be a little bit weird. But if you are a chill producer who just wants to do cool stuff, then you should probably just stick to this video. So I have this bass line here, it sounds like this. Sorry if the melody is too complex for you. Anyway, when I type in Robbert, then I am already shown every plugin from Robbert Van Der Helm, Crisp, Crossover, Diopser, Loudness War Winner, Puberty Simulator and Safety Limiter. In this video I'm only going to talk about the Puberty Simulator because it's a very special plugin to me. By the way, all these plugins are Clap plugins, and as you probably know, Clap, the new audio format, is only really supported in Bitwig yet. I think it's also supported in Reaper with some tweaks or so, but it's definitely officially supported soon as well. I don't know about the other DAWs actually, so if you're not using Bitwig or Reaper, then it might be that you would have to wait a long time before you can use what is being shown in this video yourself. So if you don't want to be too frustrated, then maybe you should not watch this video, but if you have a very high tolerance of frustration, then you can just watch this and enjoy this for the other people, I guess. Robbert is one of the people who were contributing to the Clap standard very early on with his work, and that's why he is a pioneer in that regard. And he did some really cool stuff. For example, he made Diopser, which is basically a disperser clone, kilohertz disperser, but you can get it for free, so that's special. And you also have some additional features in here, like that you can decide how many filters there should be or how precise the automation should be. That's actually a very interesting topic for that should get its own video, because automation is something that just has more features in Clap than in VST. But I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm talking about the Puberty Simulator, which doesn't even have a GUI, and that's why we have this generic GUI from Bitwig down here, and I want to show you how it sounds. But before I'm going to do that, I will have to explain something to you, because otherwise Robbert might be mad about me after he sees this video, because he does not even see this plugin as a finished release himself. It was a bit like this in the audio development community. He was dropping some audio examples, and then basically he was like, lol, listen to how wrong that sounds. I'm currently trying to make something with pitch shifting and formant shifting, and this just sounds so wrong. And you know, like it sometimes is when you make a very weird experiment and then it turns out to not work the way you expected, but it does something different that is just really weird, and you want to show it to the other people before you fix it. And he did that, and I just jumped out to him and said, whoa dude, that sounds really cool. You should actually make that a finished plugin that tries to sound like this and without being a bug. So you know this popular meme, hopefully, where it always says this is not a bug, it's a feature, and then the bug is reframed in some way that it seems like a feature, and this is exactly that. And that's why Robbert called this Puberty Simulator. And I'm just making that clear now, because otherwise the viewers of this channel think that this is like the peak performance of Robbert. It is not. He can do better. This is a mistake from Robbert, and I just talked him into releasing it. So if you like weird sounds, then this is going to be 100% for you. I will not treat it as a joke from now on, because I actually truly believe that this is a really cool sound. Now let's check out how it sounds on this bass line. So as you can hear, the pitch knob is already pretty cool, especially when you go up with it. At the default settings, it doesn't even sound like it changes the pitch. You can always listen and hear the original bass pitch going through there, but it just changes the texture of the entire sound so nicely. Then you can change the window size, and as with all pitch shifters that I know at least, when you turn up the window size a lot, you hear all of these individual grains. And that actually does override the original bass pitch a little bit, but when you go the other way around, it sounds like this. You barely get a pitch shifting effect anymore, but just something that very finely changes the texture of the sound while also being super tight. Now the overlap window. And then maxed out. It's hard to find the right words to describe the window overlap parameter, but to me it just sounds like the lower the value, the closer it sounds to your ear. It's sort of like a distance thing, even though that doesn't make sense in the context of a pitch shifter, but that's just how I perceive it. Then there is also a parameter where you can change the mode between very broken and also very broken, which is very descriptive. So as you can probably hear, it sounds pretty similar but a little bit different in texture, and it's kind of hard to put your finger down on what the difference exactly is. But the fact is that it all sounds really cool, and you can find a lot of settings that make sense. So here I used the XY container of Bitwig, where you can put individual FX chains on the different edges of the XY pad, and I put an instance of Puberty simulator on the B side and then also one on the C side, none on the D. So basically all that matters is the first triangle here, and then you can, you know, go around with this thing. Okay, let's listen to this in the context of the music. Okay, this is not game matched now. So as you can hear, it's a very great tool to just softly change the texture of a sound. And even though Robbert tried to make a pitch shifter, it doesn't actually change too much about the perception of pitch. so you can use it as a texture changer. But it's also at the same time different than a frequency shifter or a ring modulator or other things that you would usually use to change the texture of stuff. So that is definitely a unique approach to this problem. By the way, there's also another plugin on this chain that was made by Robbert, which is Crisp. And listen to the difference between Crisp off and on. As you can hear, even if you're only dialing crisp a little bit, it can make a huge difference. A lot of times people say vocals sound crispy just because they are clean, but it's not really what I would call crispy. But what this thing does to bass sounds is actually what I consider to be crispy, as in textural ways. Anyway, I said that I only wanted to talk about the Puberty simulator, and I want to stick to that so that the video doesn't get too long. Alright, this goes out to Robbert. Thanks for making so awesome plugins. Thanks for pushing the clap format for everyone. You're really doing a great job there. Even when you're making plugins that you're not even serious about, like the Puberty simulator, you are just ripping it, and I think that's just awesome, and it deserves my 700 subscribers special for sure.